Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on Thursday morning, the day after an Arsenal win. Would you believe it? They've gone and won at Stamford Bridge, completed the league double over Chelsea for the first time since the invincible season of 2003-2004 and won for the first time at Stamford Bridge in 10 years since that Robin Van Persie hat-trick back in 2011. I mean, does that sum up this season any more than anything else you've seen? Arsenal so bad for so much this season. They're beating Chelsea home and away. And I don't think any of us really gave them much of a chance yesterday, but they went there as a proper backs-to-the-wall performance, full of spirit, full of desire, full of work ethic, full of lots of things that have been lacking at times this season. Yes, they rode their luck on a couple of occasions as well. Like I said, it was a backs-to-the-wall performance, but they got the job done. They've now won at Stamford Bridge this season, just like they've won at Old Trafford. And it's 2 wins in a row. It's been a good response after what happened against Villarreal. I think we all expected maybe the season could fall apart after that Villarreal defeat, and the last few weeks could be really, really painful. But it's certainly not banished the memories of Villarreal or turned the season around or anything like that. But it has been a decent response. The 3-1 win at West Brom, played some good attacking stuff, scored some good goals, and then yesterday a very different type performance, matching up Chelsea with the 3 at the back. Knowing Chelsea were going to have much of the ball and dominate most of the play, but they just fought for absolutely everything, and they got a very, very impressive 1-0 success. And you've got to give Arsenal some credit for that. I've sat here, I've criticised many a times this season, but you've got to give them credit for going and winning at the Bridge and keeping themselves slightly in the hunt for Europe. I mean, it's not going to happen. We know it's not going to happen, but mathematically it is still possible. All Arsenal can do is win their games, and so far they've won their last 2. They now got Palace next Wednesday and then Brighton to finish the season. If they can get 6 points from that, you never know. But still looking very, very unlikely. But still, as I said, I thought it was a good response. So I'll talk about that game, certainly the reaction to that game in this video. I'll do my player ratings at the end. I didn't have time to do anything at Stamford Bridge yesterday, and I didn't really have any proper seats or desk or anything like that. It's you're just basically sitting in the fans' seats there, so it was really hard for me to do anything with my videos, so apologies for that. But yeah, I mean, the big thing yesterday after the game, I'm sure you've all seen it, Mikel Arteta having a real dig in his interview with Sky Sports after the game. Didn't really have quite so much of a dig when he sat with us in the media, and I think the reason for that is actually the interview that he had an issue with was the one he did with Sky Sports before the game. He felt that they'd twisted some of the things that he'd said. I'll just go through some of what Mikel's quotes were. If you haven't seen it, he launched into a bit of a rant on the TV. He was very, very angry. See, he said, "Nothing is broken inside. Nothing is broken. I don't know how hard they try from the outside, but inside, no, they will not put things on me that I never said. You can see the spirit of the team from the first minute. It doesn't matter if we're playing 7th, 8th, 9th. You can see that, and you can never doubt the effort and how much they try. I said, if I don't get 120% off each player, it's my fault and my responsibility. And it wasn't like this in the press, and I am so annoyed by that. My players, I will defend them in front of everybody for the rest of the time that I'm here, because they deserve that, because they earn it every single day. The players give me everything every day. Everybody is here, does that, because if they don't, I'm not here and the players not here. The only thing I'm going to demand until the last day is they give me everything. That is all." So really, you could tell he was really, really angry. He was actually doing the interview. He only put up sort of 10, 15 metres in front of me, and I could just about hear him. And you could sense, I was looking at him, you could see he was really, really fuming. And he carried on. He said, "Look, after the ability, we can play better, worse, win, lose, but their work rate is unquestionable and non-negotiable, 100%. They, the media, are not going to break the bond. They can try, but they're not going to break it. I know the chemistry that we have, not only with the players, but with our staff, with the coaching staff, with the board, and they cannot touch it. And if they try to touch it, it can be with opinion, but not saying something I never said. I'm not taking that. It's the first time, and I have to make my point." So, I mean, you can see there he was very, very angry, and he feels like his words were taken out of context. And what's the problem is here is that he said that it's his job as a coach to try and get 100% out of the players, and if he doesn't, then it's his fault. But what was the story got sort of turned to, apparently, and I'm just reading because we've had brief from Arsenal about exactly what he was angry at. said it was sort of twisted to become Mikel admits that not every player has given 100%, and that's what he's really angry with. He says that he took it's his responsibility if he doesn't get his players to perform at 100%, but it got twisted to the fact that he's saying that the players aren't giving 100%, and that's what he was really angry at. And to be fair to Mikel, he's never really had a proper rant at the media before and saying anything about how anything is reported. That's the first time I've seen it, and you could tell he was very, very angry about it. Rob Holding spoke about it as well, and from what I understand, Arsenal or Arteta got everyone together before the game on Wednesday, I think at the team hotel, and had a sort of big talk about this because he'd seen the stories that had come out, and he sat them down, all of them, and explained, look, this isn't what I said, it's been taken out of context, this is what I actually said, and he sort of called a team meeting about it because he didn't want the team thinking that he'd slagged them off and stuff like that. So, and Rob Holding was talking about it. He said, Mikel was really pleased with our attitude and effort. I think a bit of stuff came out in the media earlier, and some of it that he has said has not been true. It's out of context. He explained that to us, and we knew this wasn't his opinion, and we showed that tonight by how we backed him and did what he asked. So maybe there was a sense of sort of backs to the walls, everyone's against us type thing. And I thought you saw that in the performance, certainly yesterday. They really did work very, very hard. It was very noticeable. Where I was sitting at Stamford Bridge yesterday, it was right by the pitch, and it was closer to the pitch than I normally want. You could really see the effort and the how much everyone was working to each other. The celebration at full time, you had Pablo Mari scream out with joy at full time, and they really did work that hard. Yes, the performance, in terms of attacking, it wasn't exciting to watch or anything like that. Arsenal barely attacked. They got their lead and they protected it. It was very similar kind of to how they won the FA Cup at the end of last season. They played that sort of style with a three at the back, sitting in, trying on the occasion to hit them on the counter-attack. But it was just really, really solid. I thought Gabriel, Holding and Mari were excellent. I mean, Gabriel gave the ball away a fair bit, especially in the first half. It was a bit sloppy, but in terms of everything else, he put his head in where it hurts, his clearances, he was the last man at times, and all three of those three, except for the one little error when Gabriel misplaced a pass, sort of, and then Pablo Mari waited for it. Kai Havertz nipped in and went through on that one-on-one in the first half that he put over. Take that one really big individual error out of the way, and I thought it was a really solid performance from those three at the back. Marshalled superbly as well by Thomas Partey and Mohamed El Neni in front of him, who I thought had great games. And it was, you could tell it was just a really, really satisfying win for all of them. You could see that at full time. And Mikel said, it's been 10 years since I think we have won here, so it's a really important result for the club, for our fans and for the players. I think they showed how much this meant to them. They showed the spirit and the attitude that they have among the groups and how much they care about it. And when he was asked, was this the reaction you wanted to see after what happened in Villarreal and the fallout, the criticism that has come your way? Are you pleased with the reaction you've seen? And he said, probably from the outside it's a good reaction, but they don't have to show anything to me because I see them every day, how they prepare, how professional they are, and how much they try. But from the outside, yes, it was a big message. It was an interesting one, I thought, yesterday, the post-match reaction. You could really tell he's normally a very cool customer, Mikel. He very rarely lets things get under his skin, or he very rarely shows that things have got under his skin. But he couldn't hold this one back. You can tell he was very angry with some of the things. Maybe it's built up frustration as well from how the season has gone, and the criticism that comes his way. And most of that criticism is absolutely justified, by the way, because it's simply not been good enough on the whole this season. But you could tell it really got under his skin yesterday, and that win meant a lot. And you could see by the reaction to it how he wanted to sort of prove a fair few people wrong. So good day for Mikel Arteta. Good night for Mikel Arteta. Good night for Arsenal. And a rare victory at Stamford Bridge. 10 years, I can't believe that, since that Van Persie hat-trick. It's been a long, long time since we've won there, so good news all round on that front. Okay, I just wanted to talk about a couple of the performances from the game before getting onto my player ratings. Thomas Partey especially, it's been a difficult few weeks or months for Thomas Partey since he's sort of got back into the team after that injury. His performances have dipped, his form's dipped. I think his confidence has certainly dipped. You could see that in his body language at times. getting frustrated at himself, misplacing passes, that sort of thing. But I thought he was really, really good last night, Thomas Partey. Sort of topped the charts when you look at the stats afterwards. You didn't even need to look at the stats because you could tell just by watching on the pitch. But when you did look at the stats, he had the most tackles of anyone at Arsenal, 5, the most interceptions, 3, competed in the most duels, 12, had the most ball recoveries, 9. He just sat in front of that back 3, and he just protected them really well alongside Mohamed El-Neni, who was equally excellent. I saw El-Neni got man of the match on Sky Sports. Not sure about that for me. I wouldn't have given him that. I thought Rob Holding, Emile Smith-Rowe and Thomas Partey were ahead of him for man of the match. But I thought the two of them combined really well. They were a very, very good shield in front of that back 4. And I thought for Thomas Partey, it was a big night. It was his best performance, I think, probably since you go all the way back to that Man United, the 1-0 at Old Trafford. I think it was probably his best performance since then. He was excellent in the first half in that game against Wolves at Molineux before the Luiz red card and everything turned off, switched round in terms of that match. But I thought it was a really good performance from Thomas Partey, and that will hopefully do him the world of good going into the summer. If he can end the season with a couple of really good performances, take a lot of confidence from that, because Thomas Partey is going to be so important next season. There's no doubt about that. And you would hope after a proper pre-season as well that fitness-wise, all those issues will be behind him and he'll just be confident and really ready to attack the Premier League next season. So, really positive to see that. And I really did enjoy watching Thomas Partey's performance yesterday. And we've obviously got to talk about Emile Smith-Rowe, the match winner. Just a shining light again in what's been such a difficult season for Arsenal. And you sort of look at Smith-Rowe, you look at Saka, and the responsibility they take on their shoulders at such a young age. It's been such a difficult season. There's been barely any joy from this season, but seeing their emergence has been absolutely fantastic. And when you look at, since they've come into the team, Smith-Rowe especially, I mean, Saka had already established himself, but once Smith-Rowe came in the team against Chelsea on Boxing Day in that 3-1 victory, just the difference that he's made and the improvement as well. I mean, you look at the points. Arsenal were third since Boxing Day in terms of points total. They're third. I think it's 44 points. They've got more points than Chelsea since Boxing Day, which seems mad, but it has. Only Man United and Manchester City have got more points from Arsenal. So I think you look at that, and in terms of, I think they've conceded the third least amount of goals in that time, or third least amount of goals in the whole season, but certainly since Boxing Day, they've scored the fourth highest amount in the Premier League since Boxing Day as well, which again seems a bit mad considering their struggles going forward. And they've got the third amount of points. So you sort of take those, and you can't, because the whole season as a whole, I understand that, but certainly you can't look at the progress since Smith-Rowe came into the team, since the formation went to 4-2-3-1 and we sort of settled on Smith-Rowe and Saka being absolutely integral parts of the attack. You can't deny the progress. It's been clear and the points suggest that. Unfortunately, Arsenal was such a disaster before that it doesn't really matter, and they're sitting 8th in the Premier League now, and the season's basically been left in tatters by that Europa League exit. But there are clear signs of progress, and I will hold on to those, because maybe I'm an optimist or whatever, but I just kind of want to look forward to next season. When you look at it, the success that Arsenal have had since Boxing Day, the emergence of Smith-Rowe, as I said, the continued emergence of Bukayo Saka, the points total they've arrived at, the defensive record, the fact that they're scoring more goals now, all of it, when you package it all up together, there are reasons to be optimistic for next season. Although at times it looks really hard to actually feel optimistic given how tough this whole campaign has been. But there are some signs to be optimistic. And when you look at the record against the top 6, since Mikel Arteta's come in now, in a space of 18 months, Arsenal have beaten Chelsea home and away, Man United home and away, Chelsea in a cup final, Liverpool at home, Leicester away, Spurs at home, Liverpool away in the cup, Liverpool in the Community Shield. The games against the top 6, the results absolutely massively improved. You think how long it's been since Arsenal had won away at one of the top sides in the Premier League. You had to go all the way back to that Santi Cazorla masterclass at the Etihad against Manchester City. But this season now, they've won at Old Trafford, they've won at Stamford Bridge, they won at Leicester, and I think Leicester were third when Arsenal won there. So again, there's some reasons to be optimistic there. If Arteta can just sort out the individual errors that have plagued Arsenal this season, but also just sort out attacking wise, because I think defensively there's no doubt they're better. They're making those individual errors, but despite that, they've still got the third best defensive record in the Premier League. Defensively, he's got Arsenal better. They're much more organised. They don't give away as many goals. If they can cut out the individual errors, but then if they can just sort out the forward line, because we saw again yesterday, they don't offer that much when they go forward. They're not an exciting team to watch. In fact, they're pretty boring to watch at times. It's pretty slow, laboured. They don't move the ball quickly. That's what Arteta really needs to focus on now, and I think that's what they will focus on now when you look at what's going to come on in the transfer window. I think they'll certainly try and reshape that attack a little bit. You have Smith Rowe and you have Saka who are going to be there. I think Aubrey will certainly be there next season, but it's just about finding a little bit more dynamism going forward, moving the ball a little bit quicker. I think you could do that by a better central midfield partner alongside Thomas Partey, perhaps someone who really gets on the ball and drives forward more. And then he played well yesterday, but he's just not going to do that. We know that. He's not a real forward-thinking player. Same with Granit Xhaka, although Granit Xhaka is obviously very key to the way Arsenal play. I think you could certainly get a more dynamic midfielder there, which will help with the attack. So there are reasons to be optimistic. I know you're all going to be throwing I'm a PR guy at me again. I'm clearly not. I'm afraid I just try and speak what I think is true, and I think it's undeniable to say there hasn't been some progress, certainly in the second half of the season. And again, last night backed that up because it was a very, very good result against a good side who are in the Champions League final, who are in the Cup final, and looking nailed on for a top 4 spot. So there are some things to be certainly a little bit more optimistic about. And Emile Smith Rowe, absolutely one of those. Jamie Redknapp after the game, I saw his quote, said, I thought he was excellent. He didn't get man of the match, but I thought he was best player on the pitch. He made things happen, and everything he did was with a purpose. He played in a team that pretty much sat back and defended the whole game, but I thought he was exceptional, and he's been like that all season since he got into the team. Spot on for Redknapp there. And I thought what was so good about Smith Rowe as well, not just going forward, I thought defensively he was absolutely fantastic. He worked so hard. Not surprised he collapsed on the turf at full time once again, because he really did put serious work into that performance yesterday, Smith Rowe. Okay, before I go, let's quickly run through my player ratings for last night, shall we? We'll start at Bernd Leno. A couple of really good stops from Leno. That one he tipped onto the bar right late on was very, very important. He gets a 7. Rob Holding, I thought, was excellent. Absolutely did not stop talking. Listening to him yesterday, we've been right so close to the pitch. You could see just how important he is and how forceful he is when it comes to team orders, that sort of thing. Rob Holding gets an 8. Mari and Gabriel both get a 7 for me. Saka, playing at right wing back, struggled, I thought. He gets a 5. Tierney, a 6. El Neni and Partey, absolutely fantastic in the central midfield. I thought both of them get an 8. Martin Odegaard, 6. Smith Rowe, 8. And Aubameyang, 6. I'm going to give Smith Rowe my man of the match as well, just because he got the goal. But I thought Smith Rowe, Holding, Partey and El Neni were the exceptional 4 Arsenal players on that pitch. Really put in a fantastic shift. And yeah, they deserved everything they got last night. So fair play to them. Right, that's about it from me. Thank you very much, as always, for watching this video. Appreciate your time. Please do have a very good day. And I'll be back soon to bring you more latest Arsenal news.